Hello friends, in last lecture we saw how to find the factors by splitting the middle term. Now in this lecture we'll continue with the factorization using the identities. Identities like a square minus b square, then a cube minus b cube and so on. So here is the very first question that is based on identity. I'm taking from page number 130. Question number 9th, example number 9th. Example 9. Find the factors or factorize x raised to 4 minus y raised to 4. However, this question is not that much difficult, but as this is the first question that I am taking based on identities, so I'll solve it for you. So here we have x raised to 4 minus y raised to 4. Now if you remember, there was an identity a square minus b square is equal to a plus b multiplied by a minus b. Okay, so here there are two terms which are complete square, as well as there is a minus sign between them. Then that can be written as sum of those two quantities multiplied by difference of those two quantities. Here if you observe carefully, this x raised to 4 is a complete square and this y raised to 4 is also a complete square. So this I can write, this is a square of x square and this is square of y square, isn't it? Now this is a square, this x square is a and this y square is b, a square minus b square. So a minus b and a plus b. Okay, now further it can be factorized because again we have the difference of two squares. Whenever you find the difference of two squares, you can apply this identity. So this can be written as further x minus 1 x plus y x square plus y square. So this we'll say are the factors of the given expression. Okay, so please note it down, then we will see the next question. Okay, now let us see the next question. Example number 10th. Okay, from same page number, example number 10th. Its first part will solve x square plus 2xy plus y square. X square plus 2xy plus y square minus a square plus 2ab minus b square plus 2ab minus b square. Okay, so let us see how to solve this. See, first three terms of this expressions, if you observe carefully, first three terms of this expressions forms the identity of a plus b whole square or x plus y whole square. And next three terms again looks like the identity, but in that identity first term, that means a square must be positive, b square must be positive. This middle term or 2ab might be negative, might be positive, but these two must be positive, but over here they are negative. So if I want to make it positive as well as I want to make it positive, I have to take minus sign common. When I take the minus sign common, let us see what we'll get. Is it possible to form an identity if we write these terms in that form? That means here if I take minus sign common, I do get this. Okay, now think over that how you will solve it further, then I will give you its solution. Okay, this can be written as x plus y whole square. That was very clear from the first step only. Over there it was doubt whether this forms an identity or not, but as I took minus sign common, now this is a square minus 2ab plus b square, isn't it? When I take minus sign common, all signs over here will get revert. Negative become positive, positive become negative, this negative becomes positive. Now this again creates an identity of a minus b whole square. Minus a minus b whole square. Now this again creates an identity. Which identity? See, I can say difference of two squares, isn't it? This is a complete square, this is a complete square, there is a minus sign between them. It means it can be written as sum of these two multiplied by difference of these two. So here I do write x plus y plus a minus b. See over here, even though if I won't put this small bracket, it is okay because there is a plus sign over here. But in case of subtraction, if I won't put this bracket, you will get incorrect answer. So that keep a habit of to put the brackets even though the sign is plus outside the bracket. Okay, now when I solve this, I will get x plus y plus a minus b over here, and over here x plus y minus a plus b. As I open the bracket, these signs will get reversed. Positive become negative, negative becomes positive. So these are the factors. You can see product of those two, these two is the original expression. So definitely these are the factors of the given algebraic expression. Okay, so note it down, then we will see the next question. Okay, now let us see the next question. Question number 10th, its fourth part. Question number 10th, its fourth part I will solve for you. Okay, question is 50x square plus 50x square minus 20x plus 2 minus 20x plus 2 minus 72y square. Okay, so how to find the factors of this? Minus 72 y square. Now see, we take something common from these two, and from these two definitely we won't be able to get the same thing after taking the bracket. So we have to think about any identity if it is possible to apply. Okay, there are two complete squares, also there is a minus sign between them, but these two terms are not the complete square. For a while, suppose I do write 50x square minus 72 y square, then minus 20x plus 2. Okay, that can be written. This is not a complete square, this is also not a complete square. Minus sign is there. But one thing more, if you observe carefully, 2 can be taken common from these two. If I take 2 common, here I do get 25x square minus 36y square. Okay, and this let me write as it is, plus 2. Okay, now this is exactly, I can say, difference of two squares. This can be written as 5x whole square, this can be written as 6y whole square. Let us see if I do write this and if I apply the identity of a square minus b square, is it possible to factorize this further? Okay, even though if I do that, from here again I can take 2 common. So what I will get? 10x minus 1. Okay, now definitely here 10x minus 1, we must get 10x minus 1 over here. Then it is only possible to take common and factorize it further. So if I take this 5x plus 6y over here, and here it is 5x minus 6y. Now can you see anything common between these two terms? Yes, see that actually here also available. Simply if I take 2 common, still I can say will be the factors, isn't it? Now I can take 2 common, so here I do get 5x plus 6y, then 5x minus 6y minus 10x minus 1. This I can say are the factors of the given expression. This is the one of the solution. Is there any other way to find? See, if it's this type of question you will get in subjective part, definitely you will get the full. But suppose you have this question in objective part, MCQ part, and your answer is not being matched with the given option, then you have to think another way to find the factors of this. So definitely we'll see, is it possible to find factors of this by any other method or not. But before that, note down this. Okay, let us see, is it possible to find the factors of this in by a different way. See, first of all, definitely I can take 2 common, and after taking 2 common we have to check, is it possible to arrange the terms in a particular identity or not. So if I here take 2 common, I do get 25x square minus 10x plus 1 minus 36y square. Okay, now this is a complete square term, this is also a complete square term, this is also a complete square term. These two terms are positive. That if I consider this as a square, this as b square, then to complete the identity, this minus 10x should be minus 2ab, isn't it? Then I can say a square minus 2ab plus b square. So let us see whether these three terms get fixed in the identity of a minus b whole square or not. For that I do write here 5x whole square minus 2 into 5x into 1. I wrote this just by applying the identity a square minus 2ab. Just I am checking. So when I wrote this, definitely this is equal to minus 10x, and this is 1 square, and this also can be written as 6y whole square. So this 2 multiplied by, now a square minus 2ab plus b square, a minus b whole square minus 6y whole square. Okay, so here 5x minus 1 minus 6y, and over here 5x minus 1 plus 6y. If I apply the identity of a minus b, a plus b. So this is the answer. So this is also correct, this is also correct. This is better way, because here I got 3 factors and over here I got only 2 factors. Okay, so please note it down, then we will see the next question. Okay, now let us see example number 11th. Page number 130, example number 11th. First one, x raised to 4, example 11th, it's first. X raised to 4 plus x square plus 1. Okay, so we have to find the factors of this. See, this is x raised to 4 plus x square plus 1. We have three terms, and here all three terms are complete square. So that means any two terms I will consider as a square plus b square, and third term should be 2ab. That means that should be in such a way so that we can get the identity of a plus b whole square. Let us see whether it happens or not. So I am considering this as a square. So I wrote it like that only. This I am considering as b square. So I wrote it like that only. Now if this is a square, b square, next term should be plus 2ab. That means 2 into x square into x. Okay, now definitely it is not the term given in the expression. Here we are getting 2x cube, which is not in the given expression. That means sure this is not the this is not going to fit in the identity of a plus b whole square. Okay, as I told you, there are three terms which are complete square, so might be our selection is incorrect. That means instead of this as a square and this as b square, I have to go with these two terms. So let us see. So I am removing this. Now I rewrite this term expression in this way: a square plus b square, and over here x raised to 4. Now I am considering this as a square and this as b square. Okay, so a square plus b square plus 2 into a into b. Okay, again you can see this third term 2x square is not the part of the given expression, but here we can say one thing. See, if I include this as the third term, then I have to subtract this again as a third term, but still it won't be in the form of the identity of a plus b whole square. That means this collection is again incorrect. Now if I take this a square and this has b square, then let us see what happens. Okay, you will get very less question of this type in which all three terms are complete squares. Okay, so now I do write like this: x raised to 4 plus 1 plus x square. Okay, so here if I write this as a square plus b square plus 2ab. still the third term is not equal to the third term of the expression, isn't it? But if I do this, see, actually here we have x square, isn't it? And when I write this term in the form of an identity, I am getting 2x square. That means I can say 1x square is extra when I try to convert the terms in the form of an identity. So this one extra x square I subtracted, so that I'll get the expression as the given expression. Now you can check, if you simplify this, actually you will get this. So here I added one x square extra to complete the identity, and over here I subtracted. Now these three terms fit the identity of a plus b whole square, a plus b whole square, and this x square I do write this way, isn't it? This again becomes an identity of a square minus b square, that is a plus b and a minus b. Okay, so please note it down. Okay, now let us see one more question of the similar type. X raised to 4 plus 2x square plus 9. Okay, it is the second one of the 11th. X raised to 4 plus 2x square plus 9. Now over here there are two squares or two terms which are complete squares actually. So very first thing I do write x raised to 4 plus 9, that means complete squares term all together. Now I'll consider this as a square, this as b square, and then I do write third term. Then third term I do write either as plus 2ab or as minus 2ab. Let us see. Here I wrote x square whole square plus 3 whole square. So this I am considering as a, this I am considering as b. So when I have a square plus b square, then either minus 2ab gives me an identity or plus 2ab gives me an identity. Both ways are possible. So let us see, the identity will become of plus 2ab. So here I am writing 2 into a, that is x square, and b, that is 3. That means here I have 3x square extra. I took this 3x square extra to complete the identity. As I am adding 2 into x square into 3, that is 6x square extra. So I have to subtract this x square, isn't it? I am explaining once again. First I wrote the two terms which are complete squares. Okay. First term I considered as a square, second term I considered as b square. Then there are two ways to utilize these two terms in the form of an identity, that is a square plus b square, either plus 2ab or minus 2ab. So first I took plus 2ab. So 2a is x square, b is 3. It means if I want to make these two terms in the form of identity, that is a plus b whole square identity, I need to add 6x square extra. As I added this, I have to subtract this. Why? So that questions remain same. Expression does not get changed. After this, see, still it is not sure whether it is I'm going on the right track, but just wait a while and then we'll be clear that we are going on the right track or not. So here it is minus 6x square. Now I do write whatever is the left, isn't it? This I wrote in this way, this I wrote in this way, and then I added this by my own to get the complete identity. And as I added 6x square, I subtracted 6x square. This 2x square is still left. Now if I add these to x square, or if I write this to x square over here, so these three terms definitely are going to give you the identity of a plus b whole square. Why? Because I wrote that term in such a way so that I'll get an identity. Now addition of these, or in some case might be subtraction of these, or simply I'll say resultant of these two must be a complete square. If it is a complete square, then definitely I'll say that I am in the right direction. So let us see. If I do write this as x square plus 3 whole square, isn't it? I can write this a square plus b square plus 2ab, and over here minus 6x square plus 2x square gives you minus 4x square, which is a complete square. Okay, so let me explain you one thing. Whatever is the resultant, it should have two qualities. First of all, it should be a complete square, and another thing, there should be a minus sign before that. Why so? So that I can again apply the identity of a square minus b square to factorize it further. Here it is possible to factorize it further because this definitely is a complete square that I did by my own, and this I got as a resultant, which is again a complete square of 2x with a negative sign. Now for a while, suppose instead of converting the first two terms in the form of a plus b whole square, if I try to convert it into a minus b whole square, so here I will take minus 2ab. Now as I subtracted this much means 6x square. To complete the identity, here I have add, and then I write this. If I do so, definitely here I do get complete square, but what I'll get here? Here I will get 8x square, which is first thing not a complete square. Second thing, it is a positive term. For a while, even though it is not a complete square, we can write this like this, root 8 x whole square. It is still possible to write in a form of a complete square, isn't it? Even though if I have root 3, I can write root 3 whole square. That means every term can be written as a square. No doubt it is not a complete square, but still it is possible to write in the form of a square. But this plus sign won't allow you to factorize it further, because you won't get the identity of a square minus b square. So over here you have to think about both the signs. So it was my luck that I took plus sign and it gets correct. Okay, so here it was, actually it should be plus 2ab, so minus, and here it is plus. Ultimately you get this. Okay, now I will factorize it further. So this is x plus 3 whole square, then minus 2x whole square, isn't it? This can be written as now a square minus b square, that is a plus b, a minus b. So a plus b, a minus b. Now this is definitely the final answer, but it is always advised this, do write these type of expression if they are in the one variable in decreasing order of the degree of the variable. That means first we do write the term containing power 2, then term containing power 1, that is 2x plus 3, x square minus 2x plus 3. Now in our previous lecture we saw how to factorize this type of expression, that means which is a form of quadratic expression. I have told you that is ax square plus bx plus c. Here again ax square minus bx plus c. So still it is possible to factorize it further, but first of all note it down, then we'll see how to factorize this and whether it is possible to factorize this or not. Okay, so this is the complete solution, and this note down up to this point. Okay, now let us see whether it is possible to factorize this further or not. So here I have x square plus 2x plus 3, isn't it? X square plus 2x plus 3, x square minus 2x plus 3. Now here we have to find the factors of 3. There are 3 and 1 only, isn't it? Factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So here I do write plus 3x minus x plus 3. Now 3x minus x is definitely 2x, but 3x multiplied by minus x. If you remember, I always used to do the product of these two must be the product of first and last, which is not equal to over here. Why? Because if you multiply these two, you will get minus 3x square, and if you multiply first and last, you will get plus 3x square. That means it is not possible to factorize at least this first part. So I do write it as it is. Now let us see this x square. Now if I write minus 3x plus x plus 3, again it is not possible. Why? Because subtraction is okay, minus 2x, but when I multiply these two, again I do get minus 3x square, okay, which is not equal to the product of first and last. So I can say this is my final answer. So you should know how to check whether it is possible to factorize the given quadratic expression further or not. So here it is not possible to find the factors of these two expressions further. So this is our final answer. Okay, now we'll see example number 13th. Example number 13th, page number 130. Okay, so it's first one. X raised to 4 plus 4, isn't it? X raised to 4 plus 4. So this is little bit easier. Why this is little bit easier? Because there are two terms and both are complete squares. So first we write them in the form of a complete square, and then we'll see whether by taking plus 2ab or minus 2ab is it possible to factorize it further or not. So here I do write first step as this, a square plus b square. I always do this, a square plus b square. Now plus 2ab or minus 2ab I have to take by my own. So if I take plus 2ab for a while, 2 into a into b, so that is 4x square plus 2ab. As I added, what I added actually 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by x square. I added 4x square extra. Why? To complete the identity. As I took this extra, I have to return it back. That means I have to subtract the same quantity to balance the question, or to so that question remains same. So definitely this is a complete square because I added this in such a way so that I get a complete square. And what I have to check, whatever is the remaining, whether that is a complete square with negative sign or not. Yes, it is a complete square as well as with negative sign. Now for a while, instead of doing plus 2ab, if I do minus 2ab, so I have to add this. So definitely this will be a complete square. Also this is a complete square but without negative sign. So it is not possible to factorize it further if I take over here minus. So here I should take plus, here I will get minus, and these three terms gives me x square plus 2 whole square, and this gives me 2x whole square. So this I will get a square plus b square, and here I do get a square minus, okay, a square minus b square. So a plus b, a minus b. Okay, a plus b, a minus b. As I told you, I do write this in a standard form. That means first term should be of maximum power, the next term should be a power less than that. Here it is power 2, here it is power 1, then 2. Then here again I do write in the same way. Now these two are again are quadratic expressions, isn't it? This is the form of ax square plus bx plus c. This is again ax square plus bx plus c. So we have to check whether it is possible to factorize these two further or not. So let us see. For that, what I will do, here I do write x square plus, I have to find the factors of 2. Factors of 2 are 2 and 1, isn't it? 2x and 1x. Factors of 2 are 2 multiplied by 1. So if I take this combination only, their sum is not 2, neither their difference is 2. Here again, if I take the factors of 2 as 2 into 1, neither their sum nor their product is going to be 2. It means it is not possible to factorize these further. So this will be our final answer. So please note it down. Okay, so now next we will see, after that, example number 18th. Okay, that we saw in our last lecture, that is factorization by splitting the middle term, but this time the term contains some irrational numbers as well. So next is from page number 131, example number 18th. Example number 18, page number 131. Its first one, that is 10 root 2x square, 10 root 2x square plus 3x minus 9 root 2 plus 3x minus 9 root 2. So we have to find the factors of this. 10 root 2x square plus 3x minus 9 root 2. Okay, so very first thing that we always do in this type of question, that means where we have to find the factors of a quadratic polynomial. It is in the standard form with the first term positive. Okay, these two things we check. Now next we have to find the factors of what? Of the constant term, that is 9 root 2 multiplied by the coefficient of x square or coefficient of first term. So we will multiply and then we have to find factors of this. And I also told you, instead of multiplying and then finding factor, it is easy to find the factors separately. So here 9, factors of 9 are 3 and 3, factors of 10 are 2 and 5, and this root 2 is again going to give you 2. Isn't it? Root 2 multiplied by root 2 is 2, that we already know. So these are the factors. If I write these factors in increasing order, I do get like this. Okay, now from these factors I have to make two groups so that I will get middle term, that is 3x. So if I take these two together, that is 4, and remaining all in another group, 45. But obviously it is incorrect because their difference, neither their sum is going to give you 3. Let us take another, this first 3 in single group, 12, and remaining these 3 in another, that is 15. Definitely might be correct. I am not sure, but it might be correct because definitely the difference is at least 3. Now the next thing definitely we'll check by taking the product of two terms. Okay, so here I do write 10 root 2 x square. Now at the place of 3x I do write plus 15x minus 10x minus 9 root 2. Okay, now before I proceed, I do check whether the product of first two is the product of first and last or not. So here product of these two, middle term these two, is 150 x square with negative sign, isn't it? Plus minus minus x multiplied by x square, 15 into 10, 150. Now this should be the product of the first and last. 10 root 2 x square and minus 9 root 2. So definitely it is negative. Okay, definitely it has x square. Now these two, 10 multiplied by 9, that is 90, and root 2 multiplied by, okay, here I did a mistake here, at least it should be, actually it should be 12x, because these are the terms 15 and 12. Okay, so their product is 180, and here 10 into 9 is 90, root 2 into root 2 is 2, so 180 x square. Yes, they are same. Okay, so the difference is the middle term and the product is product of first and last term. That means we are at the right thing. Now next thing, what to take common. See, when there was no irrational term, it was little bit easier to take common. Now over here there are some irrational terms over here, then it might you might get confused to what to take common. So first of all, see, there is a no irrational term over there, that means this cannot be taken common. So you can hide this, or you can say you can ignore this while taking common. Now just take common from 10 and 15. X definitely will get common. From 10 and 15 I can take 5 common, and among x square and x can be taken common. Okay, so I took 5x common, so 5 I took common from this, so I'll get 2 left over here, and root 2 as it is, and this x, because x square was there and I took only x common. Over here no root term is there, simply I can take 3 common. Okay, somehow you manage the take common from first two. Now from remaining two it is little bit more difficult to take common, and for that I gave you a small or easier way. Then before taking common, do write whatever you obtain in your first bracket, isn't it? When I write this, then this will make my work little bit easier. Now I have to think, what should I multiply in 2 root 2x to get minus 12x. Okay, what I'm saying, what should we multiply in 2 root 2x to get what? Minus 12x. So this what will be something like this, isn't it? Yes, so definitely x will be there. Okay, definitely minus sign will be there. Now 2 6 are. Now root 2 is there. We always keep this thing in mind, that we never keep the denominator as irrational. So two things can be done. Either you multiply both by root 2 in this way. Okay, so this gives you 6 upon 2 root 2, that is 3 root 2. Okay, when you simplify this, here we will get 3 root 2. So this should be taken common. Minus 3 root 2x I will take common. So here I do write minus 3 root 2. Now you can check it in a reverse way to confirm whether this whatever you have taken common is right or wrong. So 3 2s are 6, and root 2 into root 2 is 2. 6 2s are 12x with negative sign. And over here it is very easy, 3 multiplied by 3, 9, root 2 with negative sign. So in this way we took common from first two and the next two. Now after doing so, you can easily see that what is common in these two. There is 2 root 2x plus 3. So 2 root 2x plus 3 is common from this, and here I do get 5x minus 3 root 2. So this is my final answer. I hope this is clear to you. So please note it down, then I will explain you this once again, and then we'll move to the next question. Okay, so let me explain you this once again, then we'll come to the next question. 10 root 2 x square plus 3x minus 9 root 2. So first 2 to 3 steps are exactly same as we did in our previous questions. Whenever we have a expression like this. Like this means a x square plus or minus bx plus or minus c, isn't it? So here first thing I check that whether it is in standard form or not. Then I check that the first term must be positive. After that, to split the middle term, I need the factors of this constant, that is 9 root 2. Over here I wrote without sign or ignoring the sign, and this 10 root 2, that is coefficient of x square. So two things can be done: first multiply, then find factors, or simply find the factors individually. So factors of 9 are 3 and 3, factors of 10 are 2 and 5, and this root 2 multiplied by root 2 gives you 2. So one factor is this, and definitely I do write 1. So these are the factors. Then by hit and trial I got this is the correct combination, that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 gives you 12, and 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied 1 gives you 15. So their difference is 3x when I take 15x minus 12x. So here I wrote 15x minus 12x and this. Then I checked one thing, whether the product of these two is the product of first and last or not. So I got that was same. That gives me idea that I am on the right track. Then I took common from first two. So there isn't any irrational term. So root 2 remains inside the bracket only. It cannot be taken common. And among 10 and 15 I took 5 common. Among x square and x I took x common. So when I took 5 common, 2 left over here, root 2 left over here, and among x square x left will be remain over here. Then from here I took 5x common, so 3 will be left over here. Then I told you that if you are getting confused that what should be taken common from next two, so there is an idea that do write whatever you have in the first bracket, and then think over that what should you multiply in this to get this, or what should you multiply over here 3 to get this. So over here this was easy. It is very easy to find that what should we multiply in 3 to get 9 root 2. So answer was minus 3 root 2. Then I reverse check to just verify whether the common quantity taken is correct or not. After taking that, it was very clear that from first term and the second term this 2 root 2x plus 3 can be taken common, and what is left over is 5x minus 3 root 2. So this gives me the factors of the expression. Okay, now there is one more question related to this in example number 19. So we'll see that x square plus 3 root 3x. See over here the irrational terms are in first and last term. Now the next question that I am taking that contains the irrational term as its middle term. That question has been taken from page number 132, example number 19th, its first one. Okay, question is x square plus 3 root 3x plus 6. X square plus 3 root 3x plus 6. See, whenever you have irrational term in the middle, then what you have to do? Definitely first 3 steps are same. We do check whether it is in the standard form or not, whether the first term is positive or not, and then third, to split the term, we factorize the constant term, or in other words we'll find the factors of the constant term multiplied by coefficient of x square. Here it is 1, so definitely we have to find the factors of 6 only, that is 2 into 3 into 1. Okay, so x square. Now you can see there is a root 3 in the middle term, isn't it? If root 3 is in the middle term, be sure you will get a factor as 3. Suppose here you have root 6 in the middle term, then definitely as a factor you will get 6. Okay, suppose you have a root 5 as a middle term, 2 root 5 or 7 root 5, whatever. If root 5 is there, definitely there will be 1 5 among the factors. If as over here root 3 is there, we can see there is a factor containing 3 over here. So circle this and distribute this 3 in further factors like root 3 and root 3. Okay, definitely we can write root 3 multiplied by root 3 is 3, or 3 is equal to root 3 multiplied by root 3. Now we can say we have 4 factors in this way. Root 2 into root 3 into root 3 into 1. Now definitely one root 3 will go with one group, another root 3 will go in another group. So there are just 2 groups we can see easily. So now we can say we have root 3 and 2 root 3, isn't it? We have 2 root 3 and root 3. Now we have to think whether their sum is a middle term or not, whether their difference is a middle term or not. So this is 2 root 3, this is 1 root 3. Definitely when we add, we will get 3 root 3, isn't it? So in the place of 3 root 3, I do write 2 root plus root 3 x plus 6. Now do check whether the product of these two is equal to the product of first and last or not. Sum is okay. 2 root 3 plus root 3 is 3 root 3. Now product, if I multiply these two, 2 as it is, root 3 multiplied by root 3 is 3. Okay, there is x and x, that is x square. So I will get 6x square, which is the product of first and last, isn't it? 6 into 6 into x square is 6x square. That means product of these two middlemost term is equal to the product of first and last term. It means we are on the right track. Now take common. So definitely we can take only x common from first two. So I will get x plus 2 root 3. Isn't it? Now generally we will get confused what to take common from next two. And for that I give you an idea that do write whatever you have in your bracket, in first bracket. Now what should I multiply in x to get x root 3? It's very simple, plus root 3, isn't it? If I multiply this root 3 with x, I do get this. And be sure, definitely the product of this common quantity and the second term will give you this last term. Root 3 multiplied by 2 root 3 over here, see, root 3 multiplied by 2 root 3, that is 6. Okay, so this is very easy. Now it is easy to take common from these two. So I took x plus 2 root 3 common, so I left with x plus root 3. So these are the effects of the given expression. So please note it down. Okay, so now let us see one more question. Okay, now example 19th, its second part, that again contains a irrational number as a middle term, x square plus 7 root 3x. X square plus 7 root 3x plus 30. Okay, so let us see how to solve this. So again, two things that we have to check, whether the given expression is in the standard form or not. Yes, it is in the standard form, as well as the first term is positive. These two things are verified. Now next thing, to split the middle term, we do find the factors of what? We find the factors of constant term multiplied by coefficient of x square. Here it is 1, this is 30. That means we have to find the factors of 30. As I told you, if the middle term contains root 3, definitely one of the factor will be 3. If middle term contains root 5, definitely one of the factor will be 5. Here it is root 3, definitely one of the factor will be 3. So here I can find the factors of 30. Suppose I find in this way, so 15, then here it will be 3, 5, 5, 1. Okay, so factors are 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1. Okay, after that what I told you to do, find the factors of that 3 or write that 3 as root 3 multiplied by root 3, or if there is root 5 then write as root 5 and root 5. So here I do write 2 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1. Now we have to make two groups, and definitely each group contains one root 3. So if I consider this 2, this root 3 and 5 in a one group, 2 into 5 into root 3 in one group, and another group this 1 and this root 3. So here I do get 10 root 3, here I do get root 3. Is their difference is 7 root 3? 10 root 3 minus root 3 is 9 root 3. 10 root 3 plus root 3 is 11 root 3. That means this combination is incorrect. Okay, now there is one more combination. If I take these two together, that is 2 root 3, and these 3 in another group, that is 5 root 3. Now definitely their sum is 7 root 3, this which is the required. Also this is positive 7 root 3, that means we have to take these two terms as a positive sign. So here I do write x square plus 2 root 3x plus 5 root 3x plus 30. Okay. Now before I proceed, what I do check? I do check whether the product of these two middlemost terms is equal to the product of first and last term or not. Let us see. See, x multiplied by x square, that is sure. Just we have to check the numeric value. 5 into 2, 10. And root 3 into root 3 is 3. So ultimately I am getting 30. So 30x square is the product of these two, which is equal to the product of first and last, that is 30x square. It means we are on the right track. Now next thing, that what to take common. So let us take x common, but obviously there isn't any other term, any other numeric value, so we can take only x common. So if I take x common, so here I will get x plus 2 root 3. Again and again I am telling you, if you are getting confused to take common from the next two, do write whatever you got in the first bracket first. Okay, so x plus 2 root 3. Now I have to think, what should I multiply in x to get 5 root 3x? Simple, 5 root 3, isn't it? When I multiply this, I will get this. And if you want to check, however it is not required, but still for your satisfaction, if you want to multiply these two, definitely you will get 30. See, 5 root 3 into 2 root 3. 5 into 2, 10. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. That is equal to 30. So we are getting the same thing. So here the last step, almost last step we can say, when I got this common from first to the next two, then there is nothing left in that question after that. So now I can take x plus 2 root 3 common and x plus 5 root 3. So these are the factors of the given expression. So please note it down. Okay, so this is the homework for this lecture. Please note it down. Okay, so that is all about this lecture. Now we'll meet in next lecture. Till then, bye. Thank you.